introduce myself. I'm the only person in the sport of boxing to have ever been in the same ring with Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Tyson Fury, marvelous Marvin Hagler, many, many more, and none of them ever laid a hand on me. So that's because after I introduce them, I get the hell out of the ring and enjoy the fight. Now, I'd like to point something out. This month, 37 years ago, in Bigley Hall in Stafford, a town about 45 miles south of here, was the very first time I worked in the UK. It was Frank Tate versus Tony Simpson for the middleweight championship of the world. I was nervous as hell, but by the time the fight was over and the night was over, I was in love with the great fight fans here in the UK. So I'd just like to say, in return, after 37 years, it's great to still be here occasionally. And I still, especially for the past decade, refer to the UK as my home away from home, and I love you guys. So we are here for a very special reason. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the kickoff press conference for the Ring Magazine inaugural event. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, Saturday, April 26th at Tottenham Stadium, London. 35 years ago, their fathers fought 2 times, 2 wars in the 1990s for the super middleweight and middleweight championships of the world, setting the stage for a family rivalry like no other in the history of the sport. So, ladies and gentlemen, this contest will be brought to you by Ring Magazine and SNK Corporation, the publisher of the famous video fighting game Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, along with Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing and Ben Shalom for Boxer. It'll be broadcast live on DAZN worldwide and on Sky Sports box office in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Now, seated behind me, let me introduce the chairman of Matchroom Boxing, the aforementioned Eddie Hearn, the CEO and founder of Boxer, Ben Shalom, the legendary trainer and cornerman for both Chris Eubank Jr. and Sr., Ronnie Davis, along with Chris's head trainer, former heavyweight contender Jonathan Banks, and the father of Conor Benn from the WBC Boxing Hall of Fame, the former middleweight and super middleweight champion of the world, the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the fighters and bring them out to the stage and to their seats. First, with an outstanding perfect record, 23 fights, 23 victories, 14 wins by knockout, the former WBA Continental Champion and the and the undefeated champion, Conor the Destroyer Benn. Conor Benn, undefeated, and his opponent on Saturday, April 26th, with a record of 34 victories, 23 wins by knockout, 3 defeats. He is the IBO middleweight champion and former IBO 2-time super middleweight world champion, Chris, the Next Generation Eubank Jr. Like his dad, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get on with the rest of this press conference. It's for the fans, it's for the fighters.
Before we move on, as a fighter, I want to be seated as close to my enemies as possible. I want to be able to see.
I agree. This was Eddie's choice. This was Eddie's choice.
Of course it was Eddie's choice. Of course Eddie wants the promoters to be in between the fighters. So I'm going to sit here. Ben, you should sit there. You do what you want.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking to.
Good idea, Chris.
I don't know who you think you're talking to, silly bollocks.
So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our host for the press conference, Mr. Ade Oladipo.
Thank you, Michael. I don't think I'm needed. That was already going to start without me. Before we get going, thank you so much to everyone for attending, all the media,
but most importantly, I always say this, the fans as well, thank you for turning up. Manchester has become, I think, the home of British boxing. We've had so many good events at the AO Arena, the Co-op Live, and I think there are going to be more big events coming in the next few months. I will say this though, it is a little quiet in this arena. So on 3, I do need you guys to join in with me. On 3, I want you to say Manchester as loud as you can to kind of get the energy in this building going a little bit. So 1, 2. Wait, 1 second, let's try that again, A bit more Manchester. Here we go again. On 3. 1, 2. There you go, that's more like it. Welcome to the kickoff press conference for the Ring Magazine's inaugural event, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, which will take place at the Tottenham Stadium, April 26th in London. We all know the Ben and Eubank rivalry. We all know the names of the fathers. It goes back 4 decades. And 32 years ago, they fought here in Manchester for the final time at Old Trafford. Now, finally, it's time for the Suns to get it on. The unbeaten Conor Benn, with a record of 23-0, 14 knockouts, will move up in weight to take on the IBO World Middleweight World Champion, Chris Eubank Jr., with a record of 34-3 with 25 knockouts. The event is being brought to you by Ring Magazine, SNK Corporation, the publisher of the famous video fighting game Fatal Fury City of Wolves, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and Ben Shalom of Boxer. And the event will be broadcast on DAZN worldwide and Sky Sports box office in the UK and Ireland. For fight fans, look, I speak as a fight fan as well. Boxing is as good as it's ever been. Big shows nearly every single week, stacked fight cards, and more importantly, the most important thing, the best fighting the best. That's what we as fight fans want to see. I have just caught my breath from the last crescendo, which was an incredible event, and we moved to this press conference to build up to a fight that is now much, much bigger 2.5 years later. And it has an incredible undercard as well. We'll get to that a bit later, but I want to kick things off straight away. Eddie, I want to come to you straight away. Here we are, 2.5 years later, Eddie. There's been some ups and downs, ebbs and flows. There was a time when I thought we'd missed the boat on this fight. As we sit here now, knowing this fight is 100% going to happen, how are you feeling?
I can't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe it the first time around. And, you know, we got to a stage, the fight was announced.
Eddie,
It was the...
you know I don't like you, right?
I don't know.
So, if you know that, what on God's sweet green earth makes you think I'm going to sit here and listen to any of the bollocks that you have to say
To
about
be
it?
honest, I mean, you're going to have to.
No.
You are?
We're not. We're going to have some parliamentary procedure here today.
Okay. Well, one thing's for sure, you ain't no prime
And
minister.
we're going to skip past whatever bullshit it was you thought you was going to talk about, and we're going to continue on with the press conference. Ade, you may proceed.
So as I was saying, Eddie...
No.
No, you get your turn.
This is not the Eddie Hearn show.
One thing's for sure, it ain't the Chris Eubank show.
This is not the Eddie Hearn show.
No.
This is Eubank versus Ben. So you can either sabotage this.
You got your man to your right is going to say a few words.
You can either sabotage the event, and I'll just start talking to Ben personally, directly, or you can be quiet and we can move on with the press conference. I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
We can be here all day.
I've been addressed.
We can be here all day.
I've been addressed.
I don't want to hear what you have to say. So,
Well, to be honest with you, many people do.
Ade,
I think I'm more popular than you.
Ade, if you want to control the situation and move forward, you can.
I'm enjoying this. This is almost like a mini face-off.
So how would you run the press conference, Chris? Because you're such an unbelievable promoter.
I'm not running it, but I'm just not
So
listening.
what happens now?
We move on.
What, you talk?
I'd love to talk, but if
I'll
not
tell you
me,
what I'll
it's
do.
somebody
I'll tell you what
else.
I'll do. Conor Benn. How are we feeling about smashing this geezer to pieces April 23rd?
Let's hear from
If I tell you something now, I can't wait. I look at you, I look at Nigel wants to get in the ring and have a tear up.
You know what? Listen, Chris can say what he wants. The bottom line is, his dad don't even like him. You could not pay that man enough money to sit in this man's corner. Now that's an accomplishment, Chris. That's an accomplishment. Well done. The most unlikable geezer on the planet. Even your dad don't like him.
Maybe.
Shit, man. Drop the mic.
Chris, okay, there was an order, but let's scrap the order. Let's go straight to you, Chris. You are the champion. We maybe should have started with you first. How are you feeling, Chris, 2.5 years after this was supposed to happen? There's been some ups and downs, but here we are. Like I said to Eddie, we're here. The fight will happen April 26th. What are your emotions right now?
The bad guy is back again. He still never cheats. He still never lies. He still never cuts any corners. And yet he is still the bad guy. Isn't it incredible? The unique and peculiar situation we find ourselves in here today is that for the first time in boxing history, in a mega fight, there are two bad guys. Fun fact, I've been booed into every British fight I've had since 2014. Just let that sink in for a second.
No one cares, Chris.
That's 11 years. 11 years of being the bad guy. I'm a veteran at this stage. A supervillain, if you will. I remember the first time I got booed into an arena was against a fighter called Billy Joe Saunders. Another scumbag in the boxing industry. And it's a cold, dark moment in your life when you realize you're in an environment where thousands and thousands and thousands of people want to see you get hurt and lose. Even recently, walking into Wembley Stadium, AJ versus Dubois, I walk in, the cameras are on me, my face goes up on the screen, 80,000 people boo me into that arena. And that is after a career best performance against Liam Smith, where I beat him in a rematch. I say all that to say that on April 26th, I'm probably going to be walking into the same environment. But it's okay, because I'm not going to be alone. Like I said, there's two bad guys in this fight. And there's one in me who has accepted his fate. I gave up on my dreams of being the hero a long, long, long time ago. The other still wants and believes and dreams and prays
Chris, speak on behalf of yourself.
of being
Speak on behalf of
the
yourself.
good guy, of
Speak
being,
on behalf
of being the
yourself.
golden boy. That's what I believe.
No. Speak on behalf of yourself.
I know. I'm just saying what I believe. Your mindset is at this stage.
This whole 10 minutes you've been talking has been
It's
rubbish.
okay.
And no one's even like, what do you want, a violin?
The sickening thing about this situation is, Conor, you had it.
I have it. You don't have it.
You had it.
No, I have it.
You had
Your
it.
career's done.
You
You're
had-
fighting welterweight at the end.
you had-
That sums up your
You
career.
had the whole public behind you. Everyone wanted you to win.
Also,
Everyone
you
wanted
got-
you to be the next big thing in boxing. I never had that.
No one cares.
You know what I would have given to be in that situation that you were in?
But still nobody cares.
You had it.
But nobody cares still, Chris. You're still going on.
Pissed it all away. You literally pissed it all away. Now, you're here. We're at this press conference. We're going to fight. And you're going to try and use me to get back into the public's good graces. It's just not going to happen for you, kid. Sorry to break it to you.
Conor? To you, Conor.
Thank you, mate.
You're the guy jumping up and weight. You've chased Chris for this fight. Again, the same question to Chris I'm going to ask to you. 2.5 years later, you've been through a lot, right? Here you are now. What's the feelings and emotions knowing that this fight is on April 26th?
Yeah, I think all the talking's been done. Obviously, what I've been through is very public, obviously. Very excited to just get in April 26th and end this man's career.
You said, me and you have spoken a few times, and you've always said openly, privately, that you feel like you can get this job done within 6 rounds. You expect to get it done within 6 rounds. I think we all know how tough this man is. Why are you so confident that you can knock Chris Eubank Jr. out that quick?
Do you know what? I just can't take him seriously, that's all. Just look at his career. Every time he stepped up, he's fouled. Every time. Yeah, you face better oppositions, well done you, but this is the end of your career. This is the end. This is it for you.
Wow.
I'm 28.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? You choose to fight a welterweight over Shiraz.
What was your last fight?
Over Janibek, over Adamas, over anybody with a world title. You choose to fight a welterweight. Your career's done.
You're not a welterweight.
You've achieved your career.
Fought a light middleweight in your last
I
fight.
fought like middleweight to prepare for you.
Okay,
That's all. I'm a welterweight.
No, you're not.
I'm a welterweight.
You'll be a welterweight.
And you are going to
after
get
this
beat.
fight.
You are going to get rendered unconscious by a welterweight. Rendered, yeah, exactly. Like Liam Smith. But that brings back horrors. Exactly like that. Exactly the way he jumped up to 160. And he done exactly that. Had you dancing all funny. That's exactly what's going to happen April 26th. Except by a welterweight whose name happens to be Ben. And do you know what? You can retire off to the sunset with your pension fund. But this is you done.
Ooh, shivers. I love that.
Chris, I was watching back the old presser, and it feels old now, 2.5 years ago. One thing that stood out was that you said this will be a walk in the park. You expected it to be easy work then. What about now? 2.5 years later now, what do you expect? Still the same walk in the park, still easy work, or do you expect it to be a tougher challenge now?
You know, you go online, I go online and I see that there is a split. You know, I either see people saying Conor Benn's gonna knock Eubank out early because he's too young, he's too strong, he's too ferocious, he's too hungry, he's too angry. Or Eubank wins on points because he's too big. Those are the two, and this is not just the public actually, this is respected members of the boxing community, trainers, fighters. Apparently the only way I can win this fight is just because of my size. You know, where's the fucking respect? You know, I've had 34 fights, 25 KOs, and I can only beat this guy because I'm a bit bigger than him?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm gonna beat him because I'm a better fighter than
But
him
you're not.
in every single
But
part.
you're not. If you look at your career's done.
I don't know. But he cannot beat me, that's for sure.
Based on what? Billy Joe, George Groves, Liam Smith. I'm undefeated here. You've tasted defeat. You've been rendered unconscious before. You was eating the canvas, literally.
Rendered unconscious. I finished the fight with my feet.
Well, your corner saved you. Otherwise, you definitely would have been eating the
Rendered
canvas.
unconscious is far from what I was.
You what? Sorry?
You know,
Well, I didn't hear what you said.
when you're up on your feet,
Oh, shut up.
the fight continues. I'm content with a loss like that, and I avenged it. Still got booed the next time I went out into an arena.
Because Liam Smith was 20%. And you still look shit.
Well,
He was 20% and you still look shit. He threw maybe 2 punches around. Please explain to me how you want to give yourself credit. Are you really happy about that?
why are we talking about?
Oh, no, I'm just saying. You just said you was out on your feet and you revenged the loss and, you know, you're really happy about it. Are you actually happy about it?
It was a great performance.
Okay.
But let's talk about more pressing matters. Let's talk about something a bit more.
Come, let's go. I'm ready for it.
You know, like I said, we're both bad guys. Do you accept that? Do you know that you're down here in the dumps with me now? You are a villain in this sport?
Chris, I could not care less. I definitely ain't going to get my violin about and sit talking in a press conference in front of people
no
for a good
violin.
20 minutes.
Conor, Chris, I would normally not interrupt you, but I do have an important phone call. I think both of us in the audience would want to hear from this person as well. You can speak now, you're on.
Hello.
This is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh on the phone, wanting to speak to everyone.
For you in London for the conference in 27.
We will be there. I will be there.
What was I think when I do this fight? I don't know. The wait for reason. Let's see. And usually, I hope that Eddie can do something. Usually Eddie can usually lose. And Ben Shalom, I don't hear your voice. I only hear Eddie. Why? What is the reason?
That's normal, Your Excellency.
I hope the Ben Conor can have a chance to revenge for the family. See you in 27. I think this is the biggest fight in England will be. And there is big surprise. We will do big concerts inside the stadium. We'll announce it then. Please, Eddie, try to do something this time. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you very much. Normally I wouldn't interrupt you guys, but obviously very, very important. Ben, you'll get your time to talk as well. I know Ben's itching to say something. Eddie, you're itching to say something as well. Conor, it's been a long time since we've seen you in the ring, February last year. By the time the fight rolls around, you're talking nearly 15 months out of the ring. You're moving up in weight as well. You can see where the challenges start to build up. No hesitation about going to 160, 15 months out of the ring?
No concern really, he's another man in my way that I've got to beat. I don't really look at him and go, oh, you're a big geezer. It's not really a concern to me. Ultimately, he's just an opponent in my way that I've got to beat. And once I knock him out, I move back down to 147 and win the world title.
One thing I do want to address, and let's address it in public now, is the rehydration clause. Where are we on this? I don't know who to address here, but if I'm going to Ben or Eddie, where are we on this rehydration cap? Ben?
Look, it wasn't something that we expected. It wasn't something that was agreed. I think the first fight, the weight limits, the rehydration, it got a lot of controversy and it wasn't right. This was something that was added in last minute. It's something that we'll deal with. Chris is a professional and he'll make it the way he should, but it's not something you typically see in boxing. Not at this limit, not on the day. And it's just another thing that puts a bit of a downer on the event, when at the end of the day, this is an unbelievable event for British boxing, and it wasn't agreed until 24 hours before a contract was signed.
Okay, there you go. Eddie, any response to that?
No, I think
Eddie doesn't get a response. I've been very clear that Eddie is not.
One thing I'll tell you, because you better get some better people working for you, son.
It's okay.
Because I'll tell you something now, what you said was very spot on, Ben. It was agreed in the contract.
What was agreed was that the fight would happen and that Conor Benn can beat Chris Eubank Jr. at any weight. That was what was agreed.
No.
And all of a sudden, we get demands from Conor and his team that...
You do know the first fight was £7 rehydration.
The original fight was 157.
I'm not worried about the original fight. You guys sprung it
Hold on a minute.
about a
Then you might
rehydration
put on
clause.
£8-9. Stop talking rubbish, Chris, because that's all you've done all evening, is talk rubbish. You said your team come to my team and in fact said about the rehydration clause. £8 to £9, that's what you put on after weighing. That's what you suggested and we agreed. So to stop pushing, stop covering your ass for when you get knocked out. Stop covering your ass when you get knocked out.
Okay, all right.
We know what
that's who said that.
We know what we signed.
Let me
we know
guys
what you
just tell you how, from my perspective, how it went down.
It don't, honestly.
Eddie,
Your man said when the contract...
Stop interrupting me, Eddie. Let me cook.
No, because
Let me
you're a
cook.
plumber.
Let me
Grade A
cook.
plumber. And you
Let me
signed the
cook.
contract.
I did sign the contract, and I'm going to explain why.
You know why you signed the contract?
I'm going to explain why. I like a challenge, okay? When Eddie and Conor started demanding that there was a rehydration clause for this fight, guess what I said? Show me the money. Show me the money. That's what I said.
You know why?
If you're going to have that advantage over
poker,
me,
that's why you need the money.
if you're going to have that advantage over me,
You're shit at poker, that's why
then
you
you've
need
got
the
to
money.
have. Then you've
That's
got
why
to pay
you
top
pay
dollar.
this fight.
You've got to pay. I'm not going to give you that advantage for free.
Anyway, Eddie,
You
they
are
signed
shit
the
at
that's
poker.
contract.
exactly what they've done.
And that's why.
Apparently he got all the money,
Right.
he signed the contract.
That's right. They paid me
Congratulations. We'll see you Saturday morning for
to
the
do
weigh-in.
the rehydration
We'll
clause.
see you there Saturday morning for the
As
weigh-in.
much as Eddie doesn't want to admit that and for that to be public knowledge, that's what's happening.
What's public knowledge?
I'm being paid to restrict my weight.
No, you're on a weight penalty if you miss it.
No. I'm
Oh, yeah.
physically being paid.
Oh, yeah.
Do you really think
you got
that I would
spun
ever
around
do
in
this
these
if there wasn't
negotiations?
some type of incentive?
See that geezer on your right, who I quite like now? He got spun around like a little kid on a playground on a roundabout. And every time he went round, I went, hello Ben, hello Ben, hello Ben, like that. And he done a good job. He got you a good deal. But he knows what he signed. You know what you signed.
Chris was paid to do this.
I don't care what
Chris
he
was
was
paid
paid.
to do
Absolutely.
this.
Good.
And
Good.
Bottom line.
paid to restrict.
Listen, we were over the moon, we got 60-40 split in our favour. Next
Oh,
question.
behave, Eddie. Behave.
Now, just a
The
little
contract
bit
bit.
more, just a little bit
But
more
then, and
on the
also, one thing I
rehydration.
want to say is this.
Stop interrupting me. Eddie.
No, I've got something else
This is
to
not
say
the
as
Eddie
well.
Hearn show.
Are you going to make
I
the
told you
weight?
I don't want to hear you.
Are you going to make the weight?
I told you I don't want to hear you. That's not going to
Are you going to make the weight?
Now, this rehydration situation, you know, I've never done it before. Usually, I put on around 14 pounds after a weigh-in.
How long?
So I have two ways of approaching this now. I can either
You need to do management. mate.
restrict what I eat and drink so that I make the weight the next day, or I eat and drink as much as I want, rehydrate as much as I want, as I usually do, and then on the fight day, I'll jump in a sauna or a steam room for 40 minutes, get the 4 pounds
Stop
off. I'm
covering
supposed to
your
get.
ass for when you get knocked
And then-
out.
and then-
That's all I'm hearing.
I'll hit that number that they want me to hit. I don't know which one I'm gonna do. It's a gut thing, you know. On the day I will decide. But the fact of the matter is, it's actually irrelevant. Whether there's weight clauses, restrictions, it doesn't change the outcome of the fight. One thing that you all need to know that Eddie's tried to push hard over the last few weeks is that the IBF enforced a 10-pound restriction anyway at middleweight, so that's why this is safe. The truth is, that's a lie. The IBF...
They moved it to 12 recently.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is what he did not tell you, is that it's a 12-pound weight limit. So, just another example of Eddie lying through his teeth to the public
whoa.
to try and make himself look good.
Not
make
at
the
all.
Situation.
It's all down to negotiation, and as I said...
Why is it now that only people are only hearing you say it's 12 pounds?
Because that's the IBF rule that's just
Oh,
not
no,
changed.
because you chat shit.
Chris,
You've
stop
been
coming
trying to
up
pull
with
the wool
something,
over
okay?
people's eyes.
You said in the first fight,
I'm going to expose
you only
it.
hydrate 5 or 6
Why are
pounds.
you
Now it's
talking about the
14
£5 pound? Why are you talking about the last
it's
fight?
14 pound.
Nobody cares about the last fight. We're talking about now.
Is it going to make a difference?
The
in this
IBF
fight? Chris,
it
is it
was a
going to make a
£10
difference?
limit.
Chris, just get in the
And
open now. Is it going to make
Not
a
a
difference?
12 pound limit. Not
Is it
10.
going to make a difference in this fight?
Why are you talking to me? Conor,
Let me ask you that question.
because your promoter is saying more on his label than
Sorry,
you.
Eddie.
But it is enough.
Is
not
this
to be an idiot
Eubank
and get knocked
Hearn
out.
or
I'm
Eubank
happy to
Ben?
provide excuses.
This is pretty wild, actually, Conor. You're letting this guy chat for you. It's embarrassing. Say something.
I'm just answering your
I
question.
don't want to talk to you, Eddie.
I don't want to talk to you. You talk so much shit. You're making
You're so
excuses.
unimportant to me, it's not even funny.
Ditto.
Chris, let me ask the question then. Will the rehydration clause make a difference?
Will it make a difference? I'm not going to lose the fight if that's what you mean. Will I be affected? Of course I will. I'm being restricted from how much I can eat and drink. So there will be a slight disadvantage. But I'm being paid, so I will accept that challenge. It's very simple.
I want to bring in someone that knows all about the Ben Eubank rivalry more than anyone on this top table, and that is the great Nigel Benn on the end there. Thank you. Nigel, here you go. This is the baton you've passed to your son to take the challenge. How do you feel this version of Conor Benn maybe differs from the version that was going to fight 2.5 years ago?
Well, I like to say he's matured in 2 years. It's like I'm more excited about this fight than I was with me and Chris Senior. I got more confidence in his fight, in my fight when I fought Chris. Because the way Conor prepared for the fight, he's just excelled in everything that he done. And people say, like, you know, he's moving up 2 weights. Conor walks around at 12 stone. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. The guys that he's sparring with, they're huge. And I believe it's not like, you know, what round he's going to do him in, what round. I think as soon as he hits much harder than Liam Smith. And I think once Conor put that pressure on him, Conor could do 12 rounds at pace. And you know what, if he wants to come in there at 60% against my son, mate. And you know what it is, Chris, I want to apologise to you because I remember you saying, like, you know, that I was disrespectful to your dad, so I'm sorry if I offended you saying that I hate your dad. I don't hate your dad, because you know what it is? Through my stupidity. That was my stupidity. I'm a 61-year-old man, and you know what? I thank God for having Chris in my life, because at the end of the day, we've done so much. We've left you lot to carry on the legacy. So at the end of the day, but I apologise for what I said about hating your dad. I really don't. But because you was going on about it, and at the end of the day, I just want to let you know that I'm sorry. But retribution is coming your way, mate. I'm telling you, it is coming your way, mate. You know, he's going to hit you so many times with a left, you're going to be crying for a right. He's going to hit you so many times, you're going to think you're surrounded. I'm telling you, mate. He's going to put it.
I don't want to hear apologies. I want to hear how this is going to be.
He's going to put it on you, mate. And I'm so confident, so confident, mate.
Good.
Nigel, what in Conor's career gives you the confidence that he's gonna beat Chris?
What gives me the confidence? Because I know my boy. He's got my DNA, but much better.
He's not even for a British level.
No. Listen.
Ben,
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Let me finish. I didn't fight for a British title.
You fought of a British and European title.
28, Ben.
You fought,
Well, you don't know nothing
at
about
28
this.
years old. At 28 years old,
No,
Chris
listen,
Eubank
no,
Jr. was further than this.
At 28 years old, I've got a good 5 years left. I ain't in no hurry. So far, what I have done is good. It's great. So far, what I've done, I'm still undefeated.
Good.
I don't even know why you're talking.
If you're that, Conor, if you're that
talking
confident,
about.
no, we want to talk about contrast. If you're that confident,
Oh, shut up.
right?
Don't come out
There was a
with some promotion. Don't come out with some
rematch. There's a
promotion
rematch
shit.
clause in this. There's a rematch clause in this fight,
Which
right?
you asked for.
But both fighters,
You asked for the
both
rematch
fighters,
clause, Ben.
you were desperate for it, Eddie.
Ben,
you were desperate
you asked for a
because he's
two-fight
got
deal.
2 paydays left.
You asked for it.
Yeah, it's 2 easy paydays. Of
Oh,
course,
right,
we'll
okay.
take it.
So you asked for the
But
rematch.
just to be clear, both fighters were offered. Do they want to take a number if they win or a number if they lose? Right? The higher number if you win, the lower number if you lose. Chris, of course, the confidence takes the number.
You
lower
asked
if
for the
you
rematch.
lose.
You didn't want a second fight.
Connor decides
You
win or
wouldn't
lose,
take
he
it.
wants the same
Hey,
number.
Ben,
So
Ben,
you
Ben.
can talk all in
Classroom
about
time.
confidence.
Listen, classroom time.
No, Eddie.
You asked for the rematch.
You
You asked for 2 fights.
It's easy to
Hold
fight.
on a minute. Hold on.
You asked
One
for
minute,
2
one
fights.
second.
Let's
See
be
what
clear.
you just said? No, Ben, you see what you just said?
You wanted the
Hold
same
on a
number,
minute.
win or lose.
Hold on a minute. You see what you just said?
Yeah.
I'll put the messages about you saying to me, make sure there's a rematch.
Of course, it's
No,
2
no,
easy
don't
paydays.
Of course me. Don't of course me.
Nigel,
Ben,
this is
you've absolutely
Connor,
done
this-
yourself up
Connor,
like Kipper.
Eddie,
You asked for a rematch.
Eddie,
You
you
asked
asked
for a
Eddie,
rematch.
Eddie, I got messages from you.
Ben, did you
asking
ask for a rematch?
Of course, it's 2 easy
Okay, done.
paydays.
Thank you.
We're getting paid
That's
more
not
for
what
the
signed the
25.
contract.
Okay, on to the next thing now.
just to-
We get it. There's going to be a rematch.
Let me
No,
just
come
speak.
on. No, it's too much. It's too much. We're not here to hear you chat shit to Eddie, and it's all bullshit.
That's the best thing you've said all night, Chris.
The only voice I want to hear is Conor, or my own voice. I have. It's the truth. What are we doing here?
It's about your team.
No. This is not a team sport. It's going to be me and Conor hurting each other in a few months' time. So all this bullshit you guys are going back and forth about now, it's irrelevant. No one's going to remember
You
it.
started it about the rehydration.
Now, I read a tweet that made me chuckle last week. And it kind of sums up what this fight is. It said, the guy said, Chris Eubank Jr. is an arrogant fucking prick. Word for word. And I can't wait until he smashes the eggs out of Conor Benn. That's what the tweet was. Beautifully written. I don't understand it, but that's the passion that we have garnered now for this fight. 2 bad guys. Conor, I've been meaning to ask you for a long time, it's interested me. How many eggs did you have to eat to fail those 2 drugs tests? You dirty
The
lomby.
reality is.
Please tell me.
The reality is.
It's been whacking my brains for a long time.
No problem.
Everyone wants to know.
The reality is, I've been cleared 3 times by the NADP, by the WBC, by UCAD, by the way, which people are a lot smarter than you. Number 1, I've been cleared. 2, you will never be cleared of being a wanker. Period. That's it.
So,
That's
when you say you've been cleared, what does that mean?
I'm clear of people by a lot.
What does it mean?
You have the IQ of a 5-year-old child.
Does that mean that the drugs weren't in your system?
I've been cleared. Done.
There you go.
That's it. Go on. No, you keep going on, but I've been
The
cleared.
entire
the time.
public wants to know why
that's the truth.
there were
You're an
performance-enhancing drugs in your system, and all you and Eddie can come up with
Do your
after
research.
2.5 years
Do your
is
research. Do your
he's
research.
been cleared. We can't say how or why.
Do
or,
your research,
but he's
Chris.
been cleared. It's
Well,
okay.
well, I would like to say, you don't spend nearly £1 million to fight the case if your drugs cheap.
Yes,
And
you do. That's exactly
that's their own money. No,
No. He's an idiot.
care how
Because
much
he owes
you
Neymar £4 million. That's why he's taking this fight. Don't talk shit.
What did you say? What?
I said he owes Neymar £4 million. Not heard. Oh, exactly. Don't come and talk to me about bollocks. This is why you've taken this fight, and you're about to get rendered unconscious for it. You're money hungry. That's the only reason.
I was just
That's it.
giving you a
sit down
chance
there and
to
have a
explain
think.
yourself to the public.
You sit down there and have a
I
think.
guess you guys don't have an explanation, but you're cleared. I guess.
Done by people who are a lot
you
smarter
took
than
the
you. By people who are a lot smarter than you, Chris.
Listen, I'm sure they are. I'm a fighter.
Oh, well, exactly.
I'm not,
That's
I'm
it.
not
So
an,
then- so-
I'm not an academic.
Well, that's
But
it.
one thing I do know is you are a
What
judge.
you know is you're an idiot
There's
who's
no
taking
way
this
around.
fight because you owe someone some money. That's what I know.
How much money do you owe Eddie? Let's talk about that.
I owe Eddie nothing.
I
No,
heard.
no, listen.
I've heard you.
Okay, you've
he
heard.
paid for your house. He paid for your cars.
I can confirm that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Conor Benn owes us
What
no
shit?
We all know we can't trust what you say.
But what shit are you
But
talking?
I think that
What
that is
shit are you
actually the reason
talking?
why you've been pushing so hard for this fight, Eddie, because you want to recoup some of that money.
Oh, I love the fight. I think he wins.
I know, of course you think.
No, you don't, Eddie.
Of course I do, Ben.
No, you don't.
That's why I didn't want a rematch. And you made sure there was one in. Your bum was
You
flat.
wanted a rematch.
Not at all.
You
We
begged for a rematch.
We don't give a shit about the rematch. We care about what's going to happen on April 26th.
Good. And what's going to happen? Because you
Addy.
keep talking about the last
This
fight.
is
You keep talking about
the
this.
easiest press conference
What
I've ever
happened?
done. I don't even need to be here.
What happens April 26th, Chris?
What do you mean? What happens?
You tell us.
Do you like? I haven't said it a million times already.
Really, you kind of beat around the bush. You're the bigger man, points, have some respect. How do you win?
I said
How do you
I am the better fighter, not because of my size, but because of my pedigree, because of my experience, because of these 35-year-old fists.
And what happens?
What happens is tune in, and you will see.
You sound very confident.
It's a good way to say it. Tune in, he's right, April 26th. Chris, I know you want this to be the Chris and Conor show, but Ronnie Shields is there, Jonathan Banks is there, and it'd be wrong of me not to get a word from the great Ronnie Shields, who has been involved in Ben versus Eubank for 4 decades. Ronnie, what do you make of this? The Suns getting it on just like the way you saw Senior and Nigel get it on.
Well, I think it's great. Can everyone hear me all right?
We can,
Yeah.
we can.
Good.
By the way, you refer to him as Ronnie Shields. That is not his name. He is Ronnie Davis.
Apologies,
So
Ronnie
let's
Davis,
Put some
my
respect on
apologies.
that man.
There's only
He's
one
done too
thing.
much in the game to fuck up his name.
Anyway, I've got the greatest respect for obviously Nigel Benn and his son. I'm old school. I don't slag fighters off all the trainers. How can I not have a great lot of respect for Nigel Benn when I was in the opposite corner for him twice, 2 major wars. It's quite sickening to sometimes be in the corner seeing them punches go in, and I think you're going to see another great fight. I would say, may the best man win, but Conor, Chris is too big for you, mate, and you haven't boxed enough, and you haven't fought at his level. He's too big, and he is good. People don't realise how good.
Too good, Davis. Come on now. I just spent the whole time saying how I don't like people saying I'm too big. Now you're saying I'm too big. It's the skills. It's what you've watched me do
I know, I don't
for
tell
the
you what to
last
say,
since
you
I was
mate.
14 years old, traveling up to London, traveling around the country, sparring all these pros, going to Vegas, putting in the work, paying my dues.
Yeah, you sparred with Frotch, you sparred with Glows, you sparred with
That's
all the
right.
top boys. It
That's
was great.
why.
Yeah,
That's,
how long ago was that? And look what happened with Liam Smith. Got to answer me that. What happened? What went wrong there?
there was a reason for that, which in my opinion, but I won't disclose
Well,
what I thought it was.
even the second fight for the first 3 rounds, he was holding on for dear life. He didn't realise that Smith ain't got nothing to fight him.
That they shouldn't have took the fight. Chris done what he had to do, and you put on a great performance.
No, that's not a great performance, mate.
I don't want to get involved in those slagging matches, not my way.
We're not getting into that. I'm not flagging anybody off, but it wasn't a great performance,
Right.
mate.
All I say is it'll be a great fight for the fans and everyone. May the best man win, which will be Eubank. He's too big, he's too experienced, and he's very, very good. I know Eubank's better than anyone. I've been with him since he was born.
Yeah,
I know.
same here with my son.
Can I? Yeah, I'm not saying any different, Nigel. All I'm saying is, a lot of people don't know what he is. I do. I'll just rest my case on that one. Eubanks wins.
Ronnie, thank you very much. Ronnie Davis, apologies again. Thank you very much. Jonathan Banks, you've been quiet at the end there. You've been nodding your head, laughing, agreeing with a lot of what Chris has had to say. What do you make of this fight? Jonathan, again, you've been in big fights, world title fights. You've been alongside Vladimir Klitschko. You've been some big ones. What do you make of this one? Yeah, I want to hear from you, Jonathan.
I think it will be a good fight.
I knew Jonathan was going to do that. That's good. I knew he was going to do that. All right, final word from both fighters as we end what has been a very entertaining press conference. I'll start with you, Conor. Again, your thoughts on an incredible matchup. You're going to see him again on Thursday, so save some good stuff. But your thoughts on this big matchup?
Genuinely excited. I'm glad that this fight could happen for the fans. I think it's not been done in history before. I'm looking forward to the challenge of stepping up 2 weight divisions. Not that that's really, you've not really heard us moan about that at all. But excited to, as I said, jump up to this, this plate and give the fans the fight they want. That's mainly it. Just having to get this fight done and over the line, because at one stage it was looking like it wasn't going to happen.
Indeed. And Chris, again, this is it, right? Here we are. A walk in the park, easy work. Too big, too strong was a lot of the phrases you were using last time. How do you approach this one this time?
April 26th, the procedure will be parliamentary.
And on that note, we end what's been a very, very interesting press conference. Yeah, continue. Tickets. Everyone's asking about tickets. Tickets go general sell this Friday, midday. Make sure you set your alarms. You can head to ticketmaster.com to buy tickets. And look out as well for a pre-sale. Check the social media tomorrow. Details of the pre-sale will happen tomorrow on social media. Make sure you stay tuned to all the social media channels. We are going to do a face-off between these two, which is going to be very interesting, so we're going to get prepared for that. Thank you.